we have Trump on Real America Voice, RAV, Just the News, Water Cooler. And by the way, I queued this up. I had to dig through and look this up. Let's see, where is it? I have to find the start of this. Yeah, here it is. This is the Water Cooler show outside the Beltway. Listen to these guys, probably actually in D.C. Listen, I think this is the theme. Hold on. Okay, so this is the We Do Real News. We're everything that you want from news. Oh, America. And then we go, here comes the bro. Like, all of a sudden, this dude who's like, I don't understand the pseudo-masculinity of these fapping morons who need, like, that. I guess these are technically riffs that would be in Nickelback's Nevermind folder on their hard drive. And they all sound like this. They all got that bongino kind of thing. We're doing just the news and how I go. The nation is and it's wrong. And the conversation is Donald Trump is a giant weirdo staring at a tiny Biden who's the same size as he is. And then you end with the water with this weird. I mean, I understand I don't color correct my screen, but that yellow is disgusting. Seriously. Like the yellow and the eye, it's not matching. This looks like the yellow you would want. I don't even know why you wouldn't want yellow and a water cooler together. I don't know. Is it attached to the urinals at work? Why is your water cooler graphic look like a urine sample where you're gonna fail the drug test? I don't know. All right, so hold on. I have to wake up my. Sometimes the Stream Deck just needs to be woken up. Sometimes it's. Hold on there, champ.
And welcome to the Water Cooler, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a great weekend. Glad to be back in the.
I did. Thanks for that. I had
after some time
in the anchor chair after some time off. Where?
Off in Florida. It's Monday, June 21st, 2021. We begin with the newsmaker of newsmakers, President Donald.
Yeah, he's not the newsmaker of newsmakers. If he was the newsmaker of newsmakers, he wouldn't have had to shut down his microblog and go back to basically, like, you know, the whole thing about, like, it's more elegant when I'm popping up on my site. It's really way better. And then he's just back to, like, crap tweets on there now. And now he's just posting what he would tweet.
Donald J. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, is with us on the Water Cooler today. He may not be sitting in the Oval Office, but you can easily make the argument that he's just as influential today. Here's our interview with the president.
Hold. No, you can't. Just for the record, you cannot make the argument.
We've interviewed countless times.
Shut up, David. I'm not done. I've got a
cooler today. Thanks for being here.
The buttons are.
Thank you, David.
There's a lag on my buttons. Sorry, it happened to anybody. No, you cannot make an easy case that he's more influential now than he is. There is no singular office in this country or position of power that is technically more influential than the president of the United States at any given time, especially if they know how to use that power and don't, waste it on, getting their daughter trademarks in China. Good Lord.
Thank you.
I want to start with something you told Sean Hannity last week. The headlines were about how you admitted defeat in the 2020 election when you said we didn't win. Is that an accurate headline? Did you admit defeat?
No, of course not.
I just want to understand that.
No, I never.
So David talked to Trump before. So Trump's basically on Real America's Voice. Jesus, what that name is a reach, isn't it? Real America's Voice, not that fake America, not the swamp's voice.
Never admitted defeat. We have a lot of things happening right now. I think that was an election that was, I don't think, all you have to do is read the newspapers and see what's coming out now. No,
yeah.
I never, the word is concede. I have not conceded.
Right. So I want to ask you about Georgia.
Clarified that. It's good. He has not conceded the election. He lost handily and is never going to overturn and is chasing fart air through a field. And we're all shocked that men in a white van with butterfly nets aren't going after him. But yeah, he's just conceded. Yes.
Georgia and Arizona, the audit going out there. What should happen in your mind if Arizona and Georgia come back with fully verified evidence of voter fraud? What do you think should happen? Well,
I think, me personally, Dave, I think that those extra votes that are going to go to Biden, because clearly all the cheating that happened in Arizona, since it was a state run by, the election was run by Republicans, and clearly they would be in favor of Donald Trump. Most of them, if not all of them, voted for Trump, if you believe them, and you probably don't. I mean, honestly, you know, I would say that that Trump owes Biden even more votes then, I think.
Well, I think they will come back with that, and I think other states are also going to come back with that.
Yeah, keep thinking that. That's good. Yeah, and especially it's good to keep thinking that while your supporters are dumping money down your gullet. Good money after bad, the Donald Trump story.
And it's going to be determined what's going to happen. That's not up to me.
Yes, that is definitely true.
That's up to the public.
Someone, the public. You know, it might be up to is the government employees who are in charge of such a thing. And since you are a former government employee who lost their job, obviously, you know, you're not going to have a say in it.
Public, that's up to a lot of people, I guess. But if the election was determined to be a fraud, and it's looking more and more like that is the case, I mean, people are going to have to make a determination as to what's going to happen.
Right. So I want to clarify something.
Right. My thoughts exactly.
Because I have to tell you, and the last time I checked, I don't want to listen to the mainstream media. Their headlines are ridiculous. There is talk out there by a certain segment of the MAGA faithful. They truly believe you're going to be somehow reinstated in August. There's actually a poll out, a Morning Consult poll that says 30% of 30% of Republicans.
Yeah, it's a very important distinction. Not just because it's not 30% of Americans, it's 30% of Republicans, which is a small slice of an even smaller slice. But also, thank you for making the distinction currently between Republicans that believe Donald Trump is going to be installed back in office in August and Americans. Just kind of a distinct group of people.
Actually think that as well. So can you set the record straight?
Yeah.
Do you believe
can you line up the other boxes they checked? Like they believe that that Hale Bop was really a functioning cult and they should have listened. Do they all are we? The Earth is 2,000 years old and is made out of is a donut hole.
Do you believe you could be potentially reinstated at that point? What's your view?
Well,
oh God, this is gonna be so good. I'm just sit on the idea that he's checking off things that he agreed to ask him about on his little piece of paper, Don Jr. style. And I get credit where credit's due. Guy is just knocking it off. He's like, all right, I'll ask that bullshit. I'll ask that bullshit. I'll ask that bullshit. It's the only way he'll come on the show. Trump has so much influence that he has to go on a channel that's probably in the thousands on cable and internet shows. Dementia is yes, it is, Raphael. Okay, yeah.
Just so you understand, there is a large, I've been seeing those same polls. They're not my polls. They're polls taken by, I guess, media and others. And there is
usually
a
media
tremendous
and
percentage,
others.
much higher than that think the election was rigged and stolen.
Yeah, but there's a big bunch of us that actually believe the ES&S machines gave you Ohio, Florida, Texas, and raised your numbers in a bunch of other states. So I'm just saying that there's some rigging going on, but luckily it didn't actually affect the outcome of the election. You tried. I mean, you were president when it happened. If anybody had control over the levers of power, and if you didn't, and it was rigged otherwise, then it's amazing that a foreign government you had just sold all our beef, corn, and pork to, and soybeans, and who had told you they were being totally transparent with what you believe is a bioweapon that they attacked the country with. Also, with the help of like 9 local volunteers, kicked your sorry ass while you were the president of the United States. Like, I don't know why this is a bragging point. This asshole was president. And if he had the election swiped out from under him, why the hell would anybody want him in charge of anything else? But media and others. Go ahead.
And I don't speak for other people. I can only tell you what I say. And, you know, frankly, this isn't unique because Hillary Clinton went around saying it. And Stacey Abrams is still saying it.
Yeah, she was talking about the SNS machines. And of course, Stacey Abrams was talking about Brian Kemp, who you also hate. So I don't know why you're not on Stacey Abrams' side. And he was the Secretary of State running for governor, and he was in charge of the election. This is maybe why you hate Brian Kemp so much, because Brian Kemp arguably successfully did what you failed to do. He just did it on a governor scale, was, I guess, the win, right? I guess.
Thing about her race in Georgia. So this is nothing that's totally unique, but I will say that in this case, they had no evidence. In this case, there's massive evidence. It's coming out of Georgia. It's coming out. I mean,
thank you, Donald Trump, for defending Brian Kemp. That's adorable. Did you write him a note?
Just take a look at what's happening. Read the papers. Now, a lot of the mainstream media, in fact, almost all of it, refused.
Yes. By the way, and by papers, he means the toilet kind, which he uses and then stares at and sees victory.
Uses to cover it. And why? I don't know. It's all Pulitzer Prize material.
Yeah, if you really want a Pulitzer, this is it.
But they refuse to cover it. But you take a look at the numbers coming out of Arizona. Now, they're doing an audit right now. I have nothing to do with the audit. The audit is taking place.
It's taking place. It looks like it's going very well. This particular, I don't know if you've heard the saga of this particular Karen, but she is not finding any Chinese bamboo. All of the ballots that she's had run through her system are in English, except the ones that are in Spanish. And she's got to check those with somebody who speaks Spanish, which gives her a gastrointestinal issue. And then, of course, her mom is there because she dragged her down there. And she's like, this is your goddamn fault. And she's like, Ma. And it's just, I mean, this is an off-Broadway play happening right now in 2 colors, 3, gray, blue, and beige.
The state Senate, and I think they're great patriots, frankly, if you want to know the truth. But the state Senate of Arizona, they're doing an audit. I don't know when it's going to...
Look at this asshole was that a Black Rock coffee, Black Rifle coffee or whatever that is, right-winger hat? Like, dude, why don't you just wear a Gadsden flag while you're at it?
Be released the numbers, but I would imagine they'd be very revealing, and Georgia likewise.
Yes, keep imagining.
And Pennsylvania is, from what I heard, starting an audit because they've found things that they are not happy with. No, these numbers, I think, are going to prove to be massive.
Yeah, but what about the reinstatement part? Is that bogus?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm going to just see what happens if the election...
Okay. Is that bogus, bro? I can answer that. Yes, it is bogus. I don't mean to harsh your mellow with some gnarly news, but bruh, it is bogus.
Election was fraudulent. People are going to have to make up their own minds. It's not going to be up to me. It's going to be up to the public. It's going to be up to perhaps politicians. I don't think there's ever been a case like this where hundreds of thousands of votes will be found. So we'll have to see what happens.
There has not been, and there will not be. Hundreds of thousands of votes have not been found.
Okay, fair enough. On 2024, you've always been asked.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll just file that under bogus then.
24 questions. I know you're getting tired of it. So there's been talk now about you becoming Speaker of the House in 2022. Is that something that you would say?
Oh, that's something. That's so something. Yeah, you know, you were president, but now if you really try hard and everything goes your way and you change the balance of the House and you actually say yes, you, Donald John Trump, could become the next Paul Ryan. More Denny Hastert, but you know what I mean.
You would seriously even consider, or can you say right here, right now, that you don't have any interest in that?
Well, I've heard the talk, and it's getting more and more, but it's not something that I would have considered. But it is certainly, there's a lot of talk about it. I have a good relationship with Kevin, and hopefully we will do everything traditionally. But by the way, Sorbo, by the way, he has a good relationship with Kevin Sorbo. Just they had a lot of time to talk when Trump's followers were putting his head on Kevin Sorbo's old body. The election was a horrible, horrible thing for our country. The whole world is watching. I agree. I would apply those to both 2016 and this one. The fact that you were running in either is a national embarrassment. And it's been a horrible, you know, we were always known for free and fair elections. Well, it turns out they weren't. Yeah, we still are, no matter how much of this blather you want to spew. The Arizona fraud has spoiled each and every ballot and machine in their possession, and at this point, there will never be a way to prove anything. Exactly, ancient Pollyanna. That's the issue. This is the Rudy Giuliani holding onto the laptop for 2 years and then going, "This is evidence," and like no court would go, "I'm sorry, what? You had the evidence for 2 years, and you passed out you made copies. Oh, so you've had access to it? Yeah. Has anybody else around you had it? Yes. Has it been in your possession at all times? No, of course not. A couple times. I've been to Italy, went to Florida, been to a bunch of rallies. It was at my house. So you don't know who was there. And this is presidential level stuff. So spies, foreign agents, mafia members, all kinds of media, they would want to get their hands on it, maybe even manipulate what's in it. Yeah. What kind of security system do you have? I don't know. Buttons on next to the door. We turn it on. Okay. Yeah, Your Honor, I'd like whatever the shit he says that is to be thrown out as ridiculous. That's the Rudy Giuliani Hunter Biden laptop evidentiary hearing in a nutshell. And then this is the we went down there and wiped our ass with all the Arizona ballots, and now they're unreadable. Weren't free and they weren't fair. And the world is watching. So I have seen talk about that, but it's nothing that I've ever... Yes, they are. The world is watching going, holy shit, you got rid of that guy. Congratulations. Oh, my God. We always were told by the Republicans that Democrats were weak and incapable of any kind of leadership. They were obviously, snowflakes, but apparently they, in a few short months under Joe Biden's leadership, have claimed control of the entire media and technical establishment in a way that would make the CCP blush. Considered.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. On 2024, by the way, here's my take, and I'm curious to get your take.
Yeah, I'm curious to get his take, and I'm even more curious to get your take, David Brody.
Be accurate to say that if a supermajority of the candidates that you're supporting right now, if they win in the midterms and Republicans take back the House and the Senate, that would make it more likely that you would run at that point. Is that true? What do you think?
No, I don't think so, but I think that's what is going to happen. My endorsements have meant a lot.
They totally have. I mean, it's like 2022 already happened.
Almost undefeated, very close to undefeated, and hundreds of endorsements. People win. We just had the Republican Party chair in North Carolina. Yeah, that's the real one. That he picked the winner of the Republican Party chair in North Carolina. Obviously there's no election involved in that, and it's a political move by the party, and of course. I guess the chances of you shooting yourself are much higher if you own a gun. This would be the political version of that. Like, I'm a marksman. You can trust me with these guns. And the foot was right there. Carolina and
Is the video
Georgia
volume
and
low?
other places. We just had
Oh, yeah.
congressional
Okay.
candidates, but I mean
Sorry, the audio is low. I will bring it up a little.
hundreds of endorsements. And our record is, I think, unmatched anywhere at any time. So I'm working to gain the majority first, and I think it would be.
Jesus.
I think it's very important that we do that. I don't know that would have any impact on my decision, however.
What would have that impact on your decision? What's going through your mind on that? A lot of people want to know.
Yeah, they do. A lot of us want to know what is going through your mind right now, other than, I guess, benzodiazepines and crushed European Sudafed.
Well, I think I'm just looking at what's going on. I'm very unhappy with what's going on. I look at the border where people are coming in by the millions. It's going to be by the millions very soon.
No, it actually isn't. It's not even the tens of thousands, but very soon. Like inflation, you know what I mean? It's going to be terrible. Oh, the podcast sensation. The microphone. Oh, I see what it is. Hold on. Sorry about the frumple. Let me get this back in here. There you go. Well, check. Hopefully that's a little better. Yeah, and it seems a little quiet too. So I will bring up the microphone on my end, don't you know? Because I know what it is too. That's what it is. I see. I get the picture. All right, there we go. Yeah. Hopefully is that a little better, guys? Is that huh? All right. Check it 1 2. I don't have all the. You have to excuse me sometimes. Thank you, Twins Kicks. You have to excuse me. I don't have all the money that Pat Robertson's organization has tax-free.
Soon. It already is. And I look at other things, how our country is really, it's America last. I was America first. I look at it and I see what's happening, and I'm not happy about it.
You see what's happening. You know, and you haven't seen, this is the worse than probably we did it better than more people thought that it would ever be done in a long time, but you see what's happening. And listen to, and remind yourself that it's Joe Biden who supposedly has dementia and can't put a sentence together. Yeah, there you go.
So we'll make that decision, and I think people will be very happy with the decision I make.
I know there's a lot of people that have been talking about you running in 2024, and you know the deal. There's a lot of people talking about Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, for the record, it will make me very happy whether he runs or not, because if he runs, he'll lose, and if he doesn't run, it will be. I will enjoy the clamoring and wailing and gnashing of teeth on the right. And can you run from prison? All right.
DeSantis and the job he's doing in Florida. What are your thoughts about DeSantis running in 2024?
Yeah, what is it about? Like, he's way more popular than you, and yet, look at this. Like, look at this. This guy's face and hair and tie and jacket and voice and personality, and that guy who hid COVID deaths and had to send cops to kick in the door of a scientist who was a statistician. It was like, yeah, no, we actually had a lot more people die of COVID than you're saying. Oh, hello, officer. This dude, how do you feel about this complete wiener who looks like I'd like to see the manager character in an Anchorman movie, like just a guest spot by a decent comedy actor who's just trying to make a name for himself and just is willing to do terrible things to his hair just for comedy's sake. Someone like that. And this guy is kicking your ass. How do you feel about that?
What do you think of that?
I think Ron's very good. I endorsed him, and when I endorsed him, he went up like a rocket ship. He understands that, and he's doing a good job. We have a number of people that are doing a very good job. Ron's a friend of mine. He's been great, and we have. I just endorsed, as you know, the governor of Texas for that race, and we have a lot of other endorsements out there. We have some great people in the Republican Party.
You know, I don't want to listen.
Yeah. Abbott's running on the unfinished wall ticket, so that's gotta hurt, right?
To the New York Times, they always like to write about the relationship between you and Mike Pence. Can you explain that to us right now? There's a portion of the MAGA crowd, you know the deal. They're never going to forgive the vice president for not kicking those certain disputed election results back to state legislatures. What's your take on Mike Pence and how?
For the record,
what's the relationship?
For the record, if I may, pardon me, if I have to, excuse me, I'm allergic to bullshit. Thank you. Oh, mercy. Was that loud enough for you? It was a mic check. You have to understand, this is a personal question for this crowd as being part of the 700 Club Pat Robertson offshoot network, that Mike Pence was the guy installed next to Trump to clean up after his grab women by the pussy remarks and to bring in the evangelicals.
Relationship like?
Well, I've always liked Mike, and I'm very disappointed that he didn't send it back to the legislatures. When you have more votes than you have voters in some cases, and when you have the kind of things that are that were known in many cases, they were known then, but they're certainly getting better and better known now.
Yeah, more known-ish, I would say. If you really want to call it, if it's kind of a knownly, if you're feeling a little knownly, Mike Pence is your dude. He's your bro.
I was disappointed that he didn't send it back.
He couldn't. He could. That's not his job. He was just there to gabble something. It's a perfunctory role. He doesn't get to. We don't have a country like Russia where the dude you install as your second can install you as the first after this. Why would you even want a country where that's possible? What kind of an asshole? Yes, he can run from prison, sadly enough. Not for president, though, James? I know, local dudes, there's some local dudes who are running. There might be something about convicted felons passed around the Nixon era. We'll have to look.
I felt he had the right to send it back, and he should have sent it back. That's my opinion. And I think
absolutely.
If he did, I think that.
And if anything, not only send it back, but quite frankly, bring me the manager. I would like my entire meal to be free, please. I mean, I don't want to just get the dessert for free and an apology from the waiter. We're sending it back, okay? I know we ate all of it, but I took one bite of the cheesecake, and it was quite frankly not up to snuff. I'm not paying for any of this stuff. And if you want to call it dine and dash as a presidency, then call a cop. But I'm sitting right here finishing my coffee.
I think those legislators, look at Pennsylvania now, look at Georgia, look at Arizona, and look at others. They're all now looking at what happened during that election. I think you would have found that you might very well have a different president right now had he sent him back.
Interesting.
You mean Mike Pence might have been president? Well, I technically speaking, let's see. If Mike Pence had sent it back, and then you'd been president, but you also were behind January 6th, and Mike Pence was hanged, would you have had time to replace him with someone, and that person would be president until a special election could be held, because whoever obviously you would have picked someone like Roger Stone or someone with a criminal record. Mike Flynn. Probably would have been Mike Flynn. And as he was stripped, he couldn't get his own security clearance. And since you'd install him and he'd not been through an actual election and he'd been, chosen as your vice president, then I don't know. It's very confusing.
Listen, you're going to hold a rally in the Cleveland area this coming weekend. You're going to support a candidate who is.
For the record, I am going to be in Cleveland this weekend. Good Lord.
Taking on someone, that Congressman Anthony Gonzalez, who voted to impeach you, is this like a revenge tour across the country for you? How do you see it?
No, I just don't think Gonzalez is good. I don't think he represents the people. I think he's
go get him. Go get him. Get the Republicans. Never stop. You need to clear out everybody with even a spine that carries any kind of nerve synaptical information to and from their body to their corpus callosum. You want everybody with any kind of reasoning ability, normal functioning brainstem, absolutely can just broom them from the Republican Party. Thank you, Robert.
Somebody that thinks the way I do and others do. And frankly, I think that the young man running against him, Max Miller, is excellent. I worked with him for a long time at the White House. He comes from the area. He was brought up in the area. He loves Ohio. He loves that particular spot, and he is going to do well. I mean,
that particular spot. You mean the governor's mansion? That particular spot.
He's been doing very well, I can tell you that. No, I'm not a fan of Gonzalez.
Let me ask you about, the evangelicals.
By the way, that's evergreen. Just in any Gonzalez in general. And no, I did not straighten my hair today. I went to the gym, didn't wash it, had it in a ponytail, let it down. That was it. And I didn't blow dry it or anything. It's just kind of sitting. But thank you. Very sweet. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. And we're back. And we're back, I think. And we're back. And we're back. And we're back. This is me starting again for the third time. Oh, so frustrating. Yay, synced. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. It's just the nature of the computer hell I am currently in until we can afford a new one. So I'm just doing the best I can. Because, replacing the computer, it sort of kicks food out of my kid's mouth right now. So it's a trade-off. So there we go. But I'm limping by as best I can. I will tourniquet issues as best I can, and we'll get through today, and then we'll see what else I can do.
They're actually seeing things happen. And, I have a Supreme Court that gave a very good ruling the other day, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely. They preserved the ACA based on standing, which I know is one of your favorite arguments.
But having to do with Christianity and having to do with religion, I mean, it was a great ruling. But
what was it about? It had to do with Christianity and religion, just kind of as a topic, But
I was fortunate we got 3 Supreme Court justices approved, almost 300 federal judges. And, we've done a job. But nobody thought what was happening now could be happening. Nobody thought it was possible.
Yeah, I want to get to that Supreme Court, one of the Supreme Court decisions in just a moment.
One of them. The other one, kind of a pain in the ass.
Biden, I remember, look, you were right during the campaign. I remember during the campaign, you said Joe Biden was against God. And now we have the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. They're looking to deny him as a Catholic communion, even Pelosi. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's pretty unusual. It's, I'm not going to argue with them. It's pretty unusual, his stance on everything. They would have been a lot better off had I won this election. That I can tell you, because...
Yeah, because you're the classic Catholic. I mean, you do have something in common with, say, kind of a different target, but the Catholic priests that have been moved around, sure.
Very few, if anybody, has ever done what I've done in terms of the subject that you're talking about and
the subject that you're talking about. He doesn't even know what the ruling was.
Subject that you represent so well.
The subject. Okay, first God was a topic. Now God's a subject. Well, at least we're moving closer to... So is God objective or a subjective truth? I don't want to get into the philosophy of it. But...
Yeah, Mr. Trump, let me ask you a little...
Yeah, listen to that shit. Hold on. Listen to this goofiness.
Anybody has ever done what I've done in terms of the subject that you're talking about and the subject that you represent so well.
Yeah, Mr.
The subject that you... Oh, my God.
Trump, let me ask you a little bit about those Supreme Court picks, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh. They ruled with the liberals just recently in favor of saving Obamacare.
Based on what? What did they use? Does he know?
What did you think of that, about what they did?
Disappointed, and that's the way it goes. Very disappointed.
You know, you win some, you lose some. Mostly you lose some.
Disappointed. I fought very hard for them, but I was very disappointed with a number of their rulings.
Yeah.
Yeah, which ones? How the ruling? This asshole has no idea.
Does it make you second guess some of those picks, or time will tell?
No, second guessing does no good. But I was disappointed.
Now, always claim your decisions were great. Just be disappointed in other people who what?
With a number of rulings that they made.
For sure. By the way, later this month, you're going to be going down to the border in Texas with Governor Greg Abbott. If you had a few minutes to speak with Kamala Harris about the immigration situation, what would you tell her? Because after all, Joe Biden put her in charge of the crisis. By the way, they don't even call it a crisis.
I'd say go back to what we were doing. It worked. Not so easy to get back there, however. I had to go through court cases, litigation. We had to win a lot. And stay in Mexico was a very big deal. And we got...
There's the wall falling over and only being held up by trees.
Got that, and we got all the other things, and now it's all been blown up. And you have millions of people coming into our country, just in case.
Just so you know, that's in Mexico. That's Mexico. That's the stay in Mexico policy. That's Mexico. Sometimes scheduled computer scans take over your memory. That's entirely possible. Although I will say I'm at 87%. I have a little CPU thing that tells me how much of my CPU is using, and I'm at 80. I vacillate around 86, 87%. It's a lot.
In case you're not aware of it, millions of people, and many of those people come out of prisons. They allow them to come out of prisons and.
Right. This is his great friend, the Mexican president, who sends people over. Yeah.
Other places. What's happening on our border is beyond a crisis. And maybe they won't call it a crisis, but it's beyond a crisis.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even go further.
I've got to ask you here at the end, there's a lot of faithful, not just Trump supporters, but obviously faithful Americans who have lost hope in this country.
Yeah.
What do you tell them? How do you have them keep the faith through these?
Just watch me golf, I think, is really the trick.
Tough times.
I tell them to stay tuned.
Now, what is that?
Stay tuned. What it means is it's a show, and he's bullshitting you, and he's making money off of it. So it's, basically once the hook gets in your mouth, yank yourself back and lock it in there.
I have to ask you a follow-up on that, Mr. President. Stay tuned. That's all I get.
That's all you get. That's what you get, and it's. We'll see what happens. Our country is in crisis, and we are. What's happening with other countries? They're eating our lunch. They're destroying our country at the border and elsewhere.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Let's see what happens.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Just stay tuned. It's all a show, anyways. This is basically he's going to start doing a version of The Political Apprentice on his own network. Stay tuned, and also money.
Thank you, David, very much, David.
Mr. President, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You take care of yourself.
That is Donald.
Oh, he just hung up on him. Like usually, this is a first. Usually it's the hosts that are going, well, I know you're busy, Mr. President, so we gotta, yeah, I know. He keeps talking. Can we please? Is there a way to hang up on him and pretend it was a technical? Anyways, he's still talking. Still going. And this is one of the first times in a while where he's just like, okay, too many tough questions. Stay tuned. I gotta poo. Bye.
Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, hitting on a whole range of issues, and we will come back and discuss that with Nan Hayworth. And
wow. What a horrifying show. Yeah, I think he had to go to the bathroom. I think that's really, he's just he was turtling and had to split. Oh, what a waste of time. And you know what? In many ways, it's probably just the very fact that I did a Trump interview and all this time, and just my audio giving out on it because it just refuses to carry it. Yeesh.